Thank you again, guys, for being a part of our training today. As you notice, we show you everything: no makeup, no lipstick, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You saw me pitch real clients. You saw me get hammered in the marketplace, but you also saw me not get affected and be able to pitch a full presentation. So the question here is not if telesales works or if who's doing it the best. It's not even about that. Who's doing it the right way? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get into it detail with my compliance coordinator, Chris Martin. Um, he's our gatekeeper when it comes to the government, and he keeps us in good standing. So we appreciate you. So also, I have Lauro Herrera. As you noticed, he was on the call earlier today. He's been doing final expense, specifically final expense for the past 14 years, knocking on doors, and now he's been doing telesales for the past 7 years. So with no further ado, I want Lauro to take over from here. He's going to talk a little bit about lead generation and also compliance with the lead and what is a lead? You know, I mean, everybody thinks there's a lead, there's a magical lead that's going to give you magical results. It's not about that. It's about your skill. So go ahead, Laura, take it away, and looking forward to hearing what you have to say here to the team this morning.
Hey, so I was on the phone listening, Orlando, for about an hour, I think, an hour and a half. So how many presentations you make?
Six presentations,
How many did you close?
zero,
Zero?
zero.
Okay.
I know you don't
How
want to hear
many?
that, but
Hey, it happens. How many of those six presentations did you requote a cheaper rate or a different carrier?
I recorded two for a cheaper rate, and the rest were solid callbacks. You know, the typical how long is this going to take? Kept repitching them, kept re-engaging them throughout the pitch, and the other presentations were more solid callbacks, 24-hour callbacks because they needed to talk to their spouse, the sister, the brother, the son, because they need to talk to them before they make a decision. So, you know that with our program, we
Good.
solidified the
Those
call.
add up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, those add up. And those other two,
Yeah,
yeah, they add up fast. And
yeah, absolutely.
the other two, I wouldn't think they would become a client anyways. But
Yep.
look, for all of you that today was your first day of training, I know this is part two of your training on day one. You know, it's leads. You know, you guys saw Orlando work leads today. Today he was working a mixture of live transfers, but mainly callbacks today. And you guys were able to see that. So with that said, I get the question always asked, what type of lead are these and when exactly did they call? Well, I'll answer the first one. The type of lead is either radio, Facebook, direct mail, internet landing pages, you name it. Our vendor buys all of that data, all of those leads that exist. And then what they do is they rekindle that interest through a proprietary way. And when they rekindle the interest, at that point in time is when they create either the live transfer for us as the agents or they create the callback at that point in time. One of the things that I really pride myself in is that the lead, there's only one objection allowed per call. So if the client was to give the representative prior to transferring it to us more than one objection, we don't pay for that lead. In fact, that's a refund. That creates a warmer transfer and it gives us the opportunity to pitch as many people as possible. The callback lead is designed so that if you're on a phone call with a client, guys, and you're halfway through the presentation, you're not going to stop and take a live transfer and neglect the presentation you're on. No way. You guys have all understood on day one that the number one goal is to not only make presentations every day, but to make full presentations every day. If you can't make a full presentation, you're not getting progress. You're not getting anywhere. I'd rather you make a full presentation and have to follow up with Miss Betty within the next 24 hours than get halfways and not even get to quoting the price. So once again, each one of these leads, there's only one objection allowed prior to the live transfer or the appointment being set up. So if there's ever more than one objection on that call, you will be able to identify because you also have the recording for each one of these calls. Now, it doesn't matter with us. With us, it does not matter if you pay for your leads or we're paying for your leads. The accountability measures are still going to be in place for everybody involved. And one of the things that we do is relentless follow-up. I would love to say that every single person that you talk to on the first contact, you're going to close. It's not going to happen. I know for myself, my closing ratios on these live transfers, and both of you guys as my witness, is 60% on first contact. So when they say hello, 60%. But as a company, we guarantee 20% if you follow our program. So with that said, what I wanted to do for all of you guys watching is we're going to go through a sample run of what that transfer sounds like so you guys can prepare and figure out how much time is passing as the call is being transferred. So Orlando, why don't you and Chris show a quick example of what that's like, and then
Sure.
after that we'll go ahead and let Chris talk about the callbacks and then all of the legalities that are associated with each one of the leads.
Hey guys, so I'm here to give you an exact example that how our live transfer sounds like. So when we call the customer, we pitch them about final expense insurance plan, just final expense, no gimmicks at all, like you want any kind of insurance discounts or discounts on your car insurance, nothing like that, just purely final expense insurance plan. And when customer says that, yes, I'm interested in learning more about it, so then we gather their information like their age, date of birth, beneficiary coverage amount that they're looking for. Then we dive into the smoker question, height and weight. And the most important, after gathering all the information, we goes into the TCPA and DNC disclaimer. And after pitching them that disclaimer, we transfer the call like this to our agent like, ding, ding, ding.
Hello, this is Orlando in the Final Expense Department. Whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Hey Orlando, this is Chris Martin. I got a really beautiful personality for you, Mr. Johnny Carpenter, and he's looking for final expense insurance plan today. Mr. Carpenter, this is your licensed state agent, Mr. Orlando Mayorga, and he will be assisting you today further. So Orlando, I'm leaving Mr. Carpenter in your hands so you can assist him further. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Great. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Carpenter. Once again, my name is Orlando Mayorga. I'll be assisting you today. Now, let me take a moment to confirm some information here, Mr. Carpenter. You indicated to my assistant, Chris, that your address is 123 Judith Lane in Kissimmee, Florida, 33548. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now, your date of birth is July 30th, 1942. Okay.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned your spouse's name is Honey. And the amount of insurance you're looking for today is $20,000. Is that all correct, Mr. Carpenter?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. Now, Mr. Carpenter, were you looking for this information for yourself or for a loved one like your spouse or both?
Just for me.
Okay. So, guys, that's pretty much an intro of a life transfer. Of course, we cannot get into detail because we got to protect our secret sauce. So, I want you to take...
Now, here's another thing, too. Bruce, how many of those can you generate for an agent on a daily basis? Because I get that question a lot from agents. One an hour,
exactly.
2 an hour. What's real life scenario?
Actually, it depends on the states, the territory that they have. If most of insurance agents have more than 10 states, so for agents like that, we can easily generate a per live transfers per hour. And if they have a more state like 20, 25, even we can generate 2 to 3 live transfers per hour per agent.
So there you guys can see what it takes to generate this transfer. And the good news for you guys is that most of the time you're going to be on the phone pitching. Exactly. And you're going to be doing a lot of callbacks. At least for myself, I don't think I do a lot of transfers these days anymore, because I'm so busy with my current clients, upselling my current clients, and calling on leads that I haven't closed. I mean, that's just the facts. So, Bruce, can you explain to them what a callback lead is so they understand that and what they need to do.
Exactly. Actually, our callback leads are as good as our live transfers are, but callback leads are most oftenly they bought by the door knockers. So let me give you an example that how our callback lead sounds like actually. First, we give the intro to our customers, and then we tell them about the final expense that, hey, this is Chris Martin. We are calling from Senior Benefits Program. How you doing today? Actually, we are calling about a new low-cost final expense insurance plan that has just been approved in your state. And this life insurance plan is designed to cover 100% of your funeral expenses as well. So my licensed agent and writer can give you a call back to give you more information about it. So would you be interested in learning more about this final expense insurance plan? And if customer says yes, then we gather all the information from the customers like age, date of birth, beneficiary, coverage amount, smoker, height and weight, and the most important, the favorite color as a password of the call. And then we dive into that TCPA and DNC disclaimer, which is the most important part of our lead.
Absolutely.
So then, and the most important thing that I just missed, that these leads have just one objection. No more than one objection. If we have a more than one objection lead, our QA department simply disqualifies that lead, and that lead will no longer be able to send to you. So you don't have to worry about at all about the objections before you got the callback lead.
Now, Bruce, can you talk to everybody about the legalities of the lead and what rights the agent that buys the lead has with each one of the leads that you generate?
Yeah, exactly, Lauro. As you know that we are totally compliant, DNC and TCP are compliant as well. So when any agent places an order, we buy the data from the very respective data vendors out there. And when we get the data, as that data vendor already scrubbed that list against the DNC list. But just to make sure that we are totally compliant, we have our own DNC scrubber as well. So we scrub that list on the DNC scrubber when we get that list from the vendor. And before dialing, we scrub that list ourselves. And when we scrub that list, then we load that list into our dialer. And most important thing that we are not using any kind of avatar or robot dialing system. We got live people who are manually dialing these lists and generating the leads for you guys and live transfers for the guys like you. And the most important thing is this, that if anyone says, if any customer says that I'm on do not call list to the agent that buys leads from us, I would say that just let me know that what person just tell you that he's on DNC, because we can provide you each proof, a DNC scrubber screenshot, the whole package, which will prove that the number we dialed were not on do not call list at the time of dialing when we dive into that list.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. And we've been there, you know, a few times with X Telecom where a client said, I'm on the do not call registry and you guys are calling, and we were able to provide proof within minutes that it was a complete lie and the client was not on the do not call registry. So remember, guys, they're out there, people are out there, there's attorneys out there posing as clients, trying to get people that are not in compliance with their lead generation, especially with groups that generate leads. They're selling them for dirt cheap, but then they're disregarding the do not call registry criteria. Now, can you explain to the agent how many days they have before they need to check the do not call registry, Bruce?
Yeah, exactly. When an agent places an order, so when we generate a lead, from that point of time, the agents have 90 days to call that lead from the point of origination. And after 90 days, the agent have to scrub that list again to the DNC. And if they generated a sale on my lead, so legally, they have 180 days to call that lead.
90 days to call the lead from the origination date, correct?
Exactly. 90 days to call a lead from origination, and 180 days if they generate a sale and they have to call back or they have to follow up with a client.
And if there is a sale, the client needs to be a paying client not
Exactly.
lapsed. Has to be a
Exactly.
paying client, not lapsed if it goes
Client has
past
to,
that 180
client,
mark.
exactly. Client has to buy a product from you.
And they must be in good standing. But for all
Exactly.
of you guys that are taking the fresh live transfers and the callbacks, understand that from the moment in time that Chris's team sends the lead, that's the origination date. 90 days from that day, you do not have to check the DNC registry unless the client tells you not to call them. On day 91, remember, you can no longer call that lead. And we'll go ahead and take all those numbers for you and cross-reference them for free with the do not call
Right.
registry, and that's not an issue. So guys, with that said, you know, as a company, we make a 20% guarantee, and you know, myself, I close at about 60% on first contact. I know Orlando's doing over 50% on first contact, but as a group, we're doing over 20% on first contact. So please don't underestimate the script that you're being trained on with Orlando. Don't underestimate the follow-up that's needed, and don't underestimate the strategies that count when you get to the closing. Because anybody can make a presentation and make a great sales presentation, but it's the top that know how to close. A lead is just designed to get you in front of that client, whether over the phone or in the field, but it's the skill set that you need, whether to present and to close, that need to be on point. So don't be in a hurry to jump on if your skills are not where they need to be. So with that said, Orlando, I am done here, and good luck to everybody that started off today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to call me. Also, can you discuss the refund policy, Chris, before we let you go,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
everybody understand how the refunds are conducted?
Exactly. If a lead has a bad number or a wrong information or any kind of information that is misleading the agent, just feel free to let us know. We'll replace that lead for free. And if you have any kind of objection that you sound heard more than 2 objections in a lead, just send that lead back. We will replace that lead as well for free of cost.
Good. All right. Well, hey, you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with each and every one of you. I know this week I'll be on the road, but next week we'll be back on the phone. So you guys have a good one. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bruce.
You
Thank you,
guys.
Lauro.